At 1:41 a.m., the city looks peaceful from above, towers glowing through rain, traffic sliding quietly beneath cold neon reflections. But peace in cities like this is often an illusion, because somewhere beneath the silence, decisions are being made that can change entire industries, governments, and lives overnight. And when power begins moving after midnight, it never moves unprotected, which is exactly why one machine glides through the darkness differently from every other luxury sedan around it. Smooth, silent, controlled, almost invisible unless you know what to look for. And the moment you notice it, you understand something important. This is not just transportation. This is survival disguised as elegance. And at the center of that realization stands the Lexus LS 500h Armored 2021, a machine engineered for people who cannot afford uncertainty. Now think about that for a second. What kind of life requires a car built to survive attacks, escape danger, and continue moving while everything outside collapses into chaos? Because vehicles like this are never purchased for attention. They are chosen because somewhere in the world, someone powerful understands a terrifying truth. When visibility increases, vulnerability increases with it. From the outside, the Lexus appears calm, refined, elegant, the kind of luxury sedan you might ignore in traffic without thinking twice. And that subtlety is intentional, because true authority rarely announces itself loudly. Real power moves quietly, blending into the environment while hiding capabilities capable of changing life or death situations instantly.
But beneath that sophisticated exterior exists something completely different. Reinforced armor integrated directly into the structure, ballistic-resistant materials hidden within the body panels, multi-layer security glass engineered to absorb violent impact, reinforced doors, protected flooring, upgraded suspension systems, and run-flat tire technology designed for one purpose alone: to keep moving when stopping becomes dangerous. And this is where the story changes completely. Because unlike ordinary luxury sedans that prioritize comfort above everything else, the Lexus LS 500h Armored 2021 prioritizes survival without sacrificing refinement, turning the vehicle into something far more serious than transportation. It becomes a mobile protection system. Now imagine the first scene: rain falling steadily across empty streets as a convoy moves through downtown after midnight, headlights reflecting across wet asphalt, communication low, tension hidden beneath silence. And suddenly, something changes. Traffic ahead slows unexpectedly, one route closes without warning, and in that instant, every person inside the convoy understands the same thing at exactly the same moment. This situation just became unpredictable. And unpredictability is where vehicles like this prove their true purpose. Because while normal cars become liabilities under pressure, armored systems like this are engineered specifically for moments when control begins disappearing. Now picture the first impact: sudden, violent, impossible to predict. The kind of force that would instantly destroy ordinary glass and send panic through an unprotected cabin. But inside the Lexus, something incredible happens.
Nothing changes. The cabin remains calm. The glass holds. The structure absorbs the force. And the vehicle continues forward with cold, mechanical precision, as if the attack itself changed nothing. And that moment reveals the real identity of this machine. Because this is not luxury pretending to be protection. This is protection hidden beneath luxury. But surviving impact is only the beginning, because in real-world situations, escape matters just as much as resistance, which is why the LS 500h Armored combines reinforced suspension, advanced chassis stability systems, hybrid torque delivery, and run-flat mobility into a single platform capable of continuing through conditions that would immobilize ordinary vehicles instantly. Now, shift the scene completely. The convoy exits the city and enters a darker industrial district where visibility drops and roads narrow into concrete corridors surrounded by silence. And suddenly, headlights appear behind them, moving too fast, too close, forcing immediate decisions. Because hesitation in environments like this can become fatal. And this is where lesser drivers panic, overreact, lose control. But the Lexus remains composed, controlled steering inputs, stable acceleration, smooth directional changes, transforming rising chaos into calculated movement.
Because this vehicle was built for moments exactly like these. And here comes the deeper question. Why choose a quiet armored sedan instead of an aggressive armored SUV covered in intimidation and visible force? And the answer lies in psychology. Because attention attracts danger, while subtlety creates opportunity. The LS 500H does not dominate through size or aggression.
It dominates through invisibility, through its ability to move unnoticed while carrying capabilities hidden beneath handcrafted refinement. Now imagine sitting inside that cabin while rain and noise disappear behind ballistic glass, isolated from the outside world as the vehicle glides through uncertainty with total composure. Because in situations where panic destroys judgment, calm becomes power. And unlike many armored vehicles that sacrifice comfort completely in exchange for security, the Lexus achieves something far more difficult. It preserves luxury while integrating protection so seamlessly that the experience still feels smooth, quiet, and controlled, even under pressure. Now picture another escalation, a blocked route ahead, forcing the convoy toward a secondary exit nobody originally planned to use, tension rising instantly as communications become shorter, sharper, more urgent, because contingency plans only matter when systems fail. And for a moment, everything feels unstable, but the Lexus continues moving with silent confidence, hybrid power delivering smooth acceleration while the reinforced structure maintains stability over uneven roads, proving once again that true engineering is not measured during comfort, it is measured during chaos. And this is where the hybrid system changes the personality of the vehicle completely. Because unlike loud, high-performance engines that announce their presence aggressively, the LS 500H moves with calculated silence, smooth torque delivery, refined efficiency, and a level of quietness that makes the vehicle feel almost ghost-like at night. And strangely, that silence becomes intimidating in its own way, because power that does not need to prove itself often feels more dangerous than power constantly demanding attention. Now imagine the convoy entering an underground parking structure beneath a secured tower. Concrete walls echoing with tire movement, headlights reflecting across wet surfaces, and suddenly the power cuts for half a second, plunging the environment into darkness before emergency systems react. And in that brief moment, every instinct inside the cabin sharpens instantly, because moments like that reveal something terrifying about the world surrounding vehicles like this. Danger rarely announces itself clearly. Sometimes it appears only as a feeling, a silence, a shift in atmosphere that tells experienced people something is wrong before evidence ever appears. And still, the Lexus remains calm, systems active, movement controlled. Because the purpose of this machine is not to remove danger from the world, it is to keep the people inside alive long enough to escape it. Now picture the final stretch of the journey. Secure gates opening slowly as the convoy reaches protected ground, tension fading slightly while rain continues falling across the city skyline. And for the first time since the movement began, silence no longer feels threatening. And that is when the deeper truth finally becomes impossible to ignore. Because vehicles like the Lexus LS 500H Armored 2021 are not symbols of wealth alone, they are symbols of consequence. Machines chosen by people whose decisions create enemies, whose visibility creates risks, and whose survival sometimes depends entirely on engineering. And once you understand that reality, you stop seeing this Lexus as just another luxury sedan. Because what appears elegant from the outside is actually strategy, mobility, defense, and psychological control hidden beneath flawless design. Because in the end, real authority is never loud. Real power never panics, and real protection is not about looking dangerous. It is about remaining operational when everything else begins falling apart. And if you think this level of silent authority represents the final form of power, then the next chapter of Velvet Horsepower is about to change the atmosphere completely. Because the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 2018 enters the cartel world with something entirely different: raw aggression, unapologetic dominance, and the kind of presence that doesn't quietly survive danger, it drives straight through it. So if you want to explore both sides of this hidden world, silent authority and unstoppable force, armored survival and raw domination, subscribe to Velvet Horsepower. Because here, we don't just show vehicles, we reveal the psychology of power itself.